Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Hello, everyone out there in the cleaning industry, and welcome to True Grime Stories. This episode today is going to be a great one. I love how every episode brings us a different story, different, people starting in different places and having different experiences. And I'm so glad you're here to meet Karen Hamilton, our guest today. And Karen is the owner of Pristine House Cleaning. She started back in 2021. So she's only been in the business for less than 4 years and has accomplished so much already. Karen is a mom and a wife, and she was out of the workplace for several years, just raising her family, and coming into the cleaning industry was her first job outside of the home. As we know, being moms is a really important job, but it was her first job outside of the home in many years. I know that's similar story for many of us. And she's built a great business with a mission of making lives better. Her motto is life is too short to clean your own home. So, and she's already received recognition. She was the new business of the year in 2023 in the Bloomington area. And so we are so glad you're here, Karen. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Jeannie.
I'm super excited to dive into your story. I love how, how you started and, just kind of coming out of not working in the marketplace and then starting your own business. What made you decide to make that big dive into becoming an entrepreneur instead of just getting a job someplace?
Yeah. I had been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. Part of it was because my husband's job, we moved a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then part of it was I have a special needs daughter. And so I never had planned to stay home that long. My family just needed me. And so I had been a housewife for 10 years. And so my entire 30s. And I turned 40. And I felt like I had been everybody's cheerleader and I wanted to get in the game.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I wanted a new challenge, and starting a business has not disappointed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I love that though, that cheerleader aspect of it. It's like, okay, now I'm going to take the ball and run with it and actually go out on the field. So yeah, that's great.
I wanted to see what I was made of. Can I compete out there with the big boys? That's what I kind of wanted to see.
Wow.
And 40 is a little bit of that wake up call. If not now, when?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true, right? It's like halftime. It's like, okay, what am I going to do with the second half here? And that's a big deal. And I don't know if you've noticed this with your team members, but I've noticed that a lot of people start working for us around their birthday. Have you ever noticed that?
I haven't. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll pay attention
It
to that.
is. It's really strange. Like people will start working for us and their birthday was a week ago or it's 2 weeks from now. Like there's it is kind of a time when we reflect and decide to make big decisions. And so did you clean in the field initially, or did you right away start hiring team members?
Oh, I cleaned. Yep. But I never had intended to be a solo cleaner. I always wanted a business, but I wanted it to kind of pay its own way. So, and I really didn't know how to clean professionally. And so I thought, okay, I'll get out here. I'll learn it so I can train someone else. So yeah, I started right away just handing out flyers in my neighborhood and started cleaning and made enough money to pay for my LLC. And then
there you go.
And then made enough money to have a website. So that's what I did until, let's see, I started in January, and in August, I talked to you on the phone. I
I
called,
remember.
so I had saved enough money. Like I said, I'd set up an LLC, I'd set up a website, and now I wanted a business coach. And I called, I talked to several business coach, sales representatives.
Organizations. Yeah.
Yes, they did. CBF was one of them. And I talked to you, and then I signed up for CBF.
Yeah, that was a big moment. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Right. And so, so as you're starting your business and you're growing, I think we can never be prepared for what being an entrepreneur is like. You have no idea. And every business is different and every town is different, that kind of thing. But what was one of the like big hurdles that you ran into? And I like to call it the grime scene. Like, what was something that as you were starting to grow your business that you hit a big struggle and had to find your way out of it?
Well, right from the start, I was immediately unable to really have any reliable cleaners. That was the first immediate problem I had. But the harder thing we've encountered was when after we overcame that, and we learned some marketing, and we really took off, especially kind of in that post-COVID,
right.
boom.
Yeah. You started at a really kind of tough time to start a business, right? It could be a great time or a tough time.
Yeah, it was. Everybody had just gotten that money from the government, and we were all also tired of being in our houses and ready to get them clean. And so it was a real easy time to find clients. It was, it gave me an unrealistic view of how easy it was going to be to find clients.
I know. I think we were all kind of shocked after that went away. Like, wait, what? I have to work for this? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was writing that naively, just thinking this is how it was.
This is how it was. Yeah.
Because and so many people had gone out of business during COVID. So I also didn't have very much competition. It was, like I said, it was, gave me a false idea how easy this was going to be.
A lot different than today.
Right. But, so we were, growing super fast, and that was so exciting. And of course, we outgrew our ability to deliver our service. And so all of a sudden, I can't answer the phone and get back to people fast enough. And they wanted to reschedule, and I didn't get back to them. And now we're showing up when we weren't supposed to. It was mostly the office that couldn't hold the capacity. The cleaners were okay, but the office wasn't. And so the cleaners were mad. The customers were mad, and we're losing customers. And And I had to try to hire and train somebody while at the same time, it felt like, I was already behind. And so that was probably
kind of digging out of a hole, probably.
Yeah. And you're watching your revenue just declining as people are quitting because they're frustrated with you.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yes. So were you doing everything yourself? Were you wearing all the hats at that point, or did you have some administrative help?
Yes, I was doing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about how big was your business at that point? Because I think this is really important for people to understand. And I think from listening to us, they can learn, like, I got to get ahead of this, right? Because we usually don't deal with it until we're deep in the hole.
Yeah.
We're like trying to dig out. So how big was your business when you realized I can't do this all by myself? Like, how many technicians do you think you had, or clients?
Right. I think we had we probably had 8 cleaners, and we were probably getting to a run rate of in the 40s, between the 40 something and 50 something a month.
Yeah. And that was probably too big for you to be doing that by yourself.
Yeah. I should have hired somebody before I needed them, but of course I did. I had to hire them after I had needed them. Yes.
Yes.
And mostly it was because I didn't know how. And so, and it did happen fast. It blew up fast, and which was really fun. But if you're,
it's like a roller coaster, right? You're like, woo, it's really fun, and then you go off that cliff. And
I did hear another business owner describe it as if you're growing, you're always breaking part of your business. So.
Right. So to allow for the growth. Yeah.
Yes.
You're breaking something.
Yeah. And so then once you fix that, then another thing doesn't have the capacity to keep up. And so that's just the journey.
Yeah. And so you were at, and I'm stuttering like crazy, but one of the reasons that I love hearing these stories is because often it makes me relive a part of my life. And I was very similar. Like my business grew on a very fast trajectory, and I was just doing all the things. And it was when I was at about 8 employees where I realized, like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. And, all the, either you're, juggling balls or you're spinning plates, but they were all crashing to the ground around me. And I had to like figure that out really, really fast. So this is a common issue in our industry. As you said, my friend was talking about you breaking your business as you're growing it. And so I'm so glad you brought this up, because this is a defining moment for people in the cleaning industry. Many people never can make it past that point. And it's either you're going to make it past it or you're going to go backwards. And I've seen this a lot of times where people are like, you know what? I'm just going to go back down to 4 or 5 employees. That was just so much easier. Or I'm going to go back and clean in the field because it's so much easier, and instead of growing.
And sometimes more profitable.
It feels more profitable, right?
Yeah, sometimes you get to a point where it's go big or go home, because this is really hard and not very profitable.
Well, and that's a really good point too, because that lack of profit gets very scary to people, because we have bills to pay, and all of a sudden we realize we're working for nothing. And so what happens with profit, it's kind of like an accordion thing. Like when you first start your cleaning business, you get all the profit. And then you start hiring employees and the profit starts shrinking. And then your company grows a little bit and you start to make more money. But then to grow, you have to invest. So then your profit starts to go down. And sometimes you invest in the wrong things and your profit goes to nothing, and then you have to get back up. So realizing that your profit is going to, contract and expand during your growth is really important for people to understand. And that's normal. But if you can get ahead of it, it might not be quite so bad.
I think it's really shocking if you're raised like I was. I was just raised very typical, I think, middle class. Everyone with an employee mindset. Everybody, my family, everybody I knew, even when I was a housewife, everybody's husbands had jobs, and they got a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yes. And so I did not know to expect that. I didn't know that that's, part of the, journey. So it was very scary. And even the people around me couldn't support me through that. They were like, oh, that's not good. That doesn't sound good at all, Karen. Like, because, all they knew is, get that good job and try to, promote in that good job. They did not know entrepreneurship.
Right. And most of the world is, it's the balance of business that, most of the people have to be employees, right? We can't all be employers. But being an employer does present just some really different challenges. And sometimes you don't get a paycheck and you have to learn how to change that. So yeah, that's a really scary point in the Grime story. So I think we're going to pause here. And you mentioned that you, after we met, that you joined Cleaning Business Fundamentals, and that's been, a life-changing experience for many of us in the cleaning industry. So I want to share a little bit about that. So let's pause here and hear a message from Cleaning Business Fundamentals, and then we'll be right back with Karen Hamilton. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. All right. Well, welcome back to True Grime Stories, everyone. I'm your host, Jeannie Henderson, and I'm here with Kieran Hamilton. And we are talking about her grime story of growing past that first level of needing administrative help. We tend to, as business owners, try to do all the things ourselves, sometimes because of cost, sometimes because we just don't know any better. So Kieran, what did it feel like when you were in that point, when you knew you had to hire? What were some of the things that were going through your mind?
I think I was just, I don't remember. I remember just feeling like I was drowning.
Yeah.
and I went with a VA, and so I just paid. I'm kind of big on just paying somebody to tell me how to do it. You know.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so I went with a VA through an agency, and so she could help find the person, and then also teach me how to manage a VA. So she just, even the real basics of like, how do you protect your passwords and all those kinds of things. She could kind of hold my hand, so to speak.
Yeah. Good.
Through getting it set up. And I was desperate enough that I'm just like, I'll pay whatever it costs, whatever I need for you to help me get this set up. And it was a fantastic investment. And so,
That's good.
Yeah, I would see that kind of cost. I do see someone else in business taught me this. Everything is an investment. Some investments are better investments than others. Right. But see every dollar you spend as an investment. And hiring her to recruit and help me set up that VA was a great investment for me. That paid off very well.
Yeah, because you could spend how much time trying to figure that out by yourself. You've done a couple of really smart things, joining CBF probably shortcut a lot of the stuff that you would have taken years to figure out. Yes. I know that was my experience, and hiring an agency or a consultant to help you find your VA or your staff, that also is another shortcut. It's like, why learn it when someone can help you with it and it's so much faster? My husband calls it opportunity cost. How much time do we waste trying to teach ourselves something that we don't need to learn how to do, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I did need her fast, and it made it easier to let go of that money. But that's another thing that's been just a new mindset shift again, away from that employee mindset. And when someone framed it as an investment, that was helpful to me. So to see every hire as an investment, some are good investments, some are not good investments, but everyone is an investment, and to see it like that instead of seeing it as a cost.
Yeah. Oh, I love that mindset shift. And it is that abundance versus scarcity. Like, I'm investing in my business because I'm growing, instead of I'm going to hold tight to all of my money, because that's really what ends up killing a lot of businesses, is the fear of investment. Yeah. And so if you went back, let's say you could magically rewind time compared to when you did hire your VA, when should you have hired your VA?
Good question. Well, if I had known I was going to grow that fast, right? That's the thing. You don't know.
The pandemic growth was hard to like.
Yeah. Then
But,
I
if
would
you could
have,
just spread out the hiring of those 8 team
yeah,
members on a timeline, you know.
yeah. I would have hired probably when I had 4 team members,
Mhm.
but I couldn't afford it yet, but I didn't know how quickly I was going to be able to afford it. So again, like, yeah, if I knew the future, and when my business was that small, money was tight.
Yeah.
So that also would have made it hard. I think even if I could go back and tell my, you know,
Mhm.
my 2022, whatever year that was, self, I don't think I would have taken advice because I still would have been like, oh, I can't, I can't let go of
Yeah.
that money yet. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't think I could have until I got to that point. But going
Mhm.
forward, now that I'm bigger, which is why I would encourage everybody to push through, get bigger. It gets easier when you're bigger, not harder. And
Bigger and easier, yeah.
and so now I do have the cash flow to make better decisions sooner than I did then.
Mhm. Yeah, it is truly like a roller coaster ride, those first, few years of growth, because you really don't have time to plan for the next turn or the next hill, or, it comes so fast. But there are ways to work around that without spending a lot. So one of the things that I did early when I was at that point, um, as I was getting to know my team members, I found out, or I knew that one used to work in an office, but she hated it. But she had the skills and the ability, right? And so I asked her, well, would you just, after you finish cleaning a couple days a week, come in and process payments and, record hours for me to help me with payroll? And so that was my first, like, getting a little bit of help. And just that, like, opened up so much brain space. And I
Mhm.
don't know about you, but early in the days, I didn't know that I'm supposed to charge customers like the day that they get service and all that kind of stuff. So I was constantly chasing money, and I wasn't billing people the way that I should have, And so number one, it improved my cash flow. It took away a task that was getting put off, which was probably one of the most important things I should have been doing, but I wasn't doing, so sometimes we think, oh my gosh, now I have to hire an outside person, but you can actually look at like what's in your business. There might be some capacity with your team members. And she was
Mhm.
happy to do that little bit for me. She's actually still with me today, 10 years later. But that kind of thing you can do. Another thing that I did was I had a friend who was out of work,
Mm.
and she came and helped me just a few hours a week to kind of take away some of the stress and help me move forward. So you can find some creative things, but I love that you shared about that VA experience, because I think hiring a VA can be really scary for some people.
Yeah, it was. It was really unknown for me,
Mhm.
and I'm 43, not 23.
Mhm.
The last time I was in the working world, like, there's just a lot's changed. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
it did feel intimidating to me.
Yeah, and all the use of technology and all that kind of stuff. So are you still using a VA today?
Yeah, I have 2,
Okay,
and
great.
they're
And are
fabulous.
they like full-time?
2 full-time.
And what are their roles?
One is sales and one is scheduling and like customer service.
Good.
Yeah.
And are they in country or out of country?
Nope, they're both 2 lovely ladies out of the Philippines.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think some people sometimes have a hard time like wrapping their brain around that someone who isn't here physically can understand and help with that. But, organizations that help VAs get work do so much to help prepare them for their jobs. So that's
Yes.
the advantage of working with an agency, is
Mhm.
you get that kind of support.
Yeah, both these ladies have always worked for American companies virtually. Now they had worked for like credit card companies.
Oh, mhm.
So their customer service skills were different than what I needed. So they needed training.
Mhm.
Um, they were very good at, answering the phone for Citibank, but they were
right. It's very different.
It's very different.
This is a very personal conversation that they're having. Yeah.
Yes. And so, they needed training, but immediately, they are more technologically savvy than I am. So they could immediately navigate all the systems we had set up. And the first one I hired, I had everything on paper, and maybe not everything, not the schedule, but, every form. So if my cleaning techs wanted a day off, they filled out a paper form. Mm-hmm. And and she made all that into Google Forms, no problem. As far as working with technology, they were very competent.
Yeah. Isn't that great? That's a great experience. Well, so, you had to figure out that you needed more help, what kind of help you needed, find those people, and then structure your business around that. And so fast forward to today, back then you were drowning with, 8 employees doing almost 500,000 a year in revenue. So tell us, what does your business look like today? Like, what size is your team now?
So we're about the same size. Building the office has been the focus for the last year, and we've regained what we lost. So
that's huge, and it's probably running much more efficiently.
Yes, and it's been very fun for me. Once I stopped answering the phones, when I stopped never having to talk to an unhappy customer, I really started to love my business. And so
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. And the freedom away from phones is just wonderful. So since I have 2, the phones are covered, one starts at 7 and gets done at 3, and the other one starts at 9 and gets done at 5. And so the phones are covered the whole time for both, cleaners that need things and customers that need things. And that is really fun when that happens to you. And then
yeah, it's a game changer. And I don't think people on the other side of that, before they get to that point, can't imagine not being the ones handling the customer issues, handling the employee issues, but you can hand those things off. And I think that's hope for people and inspiration that they can and they should. And when you do that, it not only helps your life get better and it helps your business grow, it can help you be more profitable, but it gives you that quality of life, and you're providing a job for somebody else. They're probably very glad to have that work.
I think it's made me a better leader. When I've noticed how sensitive your team is to your mood and your energy. And so when I was doing everything in stress, it really frightens your team when they see the leader stressed.
Yeah. They're like fear on your face. Yeah.
Yes. Then they're worried about their job. They're worried they're in trouble. And so I am really careful, but I just was stressed.
You can't hide it. Right. You can't hide it when it's at that level. I mean, if you're having a bad day, you can pretend to be okay, but to just constantly be doing that, you can't hide it. And you're so right. I mean, we are a mirroring species. So if you're afraid, I'm afraid. If you're crying, I'm crying. If you're smiling, I'm smiling. If you're laughing, I'm laughing, and that's really, that's something we all have to realize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so this has allowed me to be calm. It allows me to not react to them, because I used to be short with them. If they had a problem, I'm like, what? And I'm like, you can't handle this? It wasn't great leadership.
Right. But it's real. It's so real. Mm-hmm.
And now I can come from a place of being the kind of leader I wanted to be. I didn't get into this business to snap at people. And, that was never my vision of running a business. Yeah. And so, now I can both lead those VAs. I can lead that admin team calmly for the most part. Sometimes I get a little frustrated, but because I don't have so much on my plate, I really can take a beat. I can run it through AI and say it in the diplomatic way that I wish I would say things.
Yeah, taking that AI break is genius.
Yeah.
Like when you are having a rough time, like just run it through AI.
I know, I just did it yesterday, and what I needed it to say is, you should know this already. Nicely.
Oh my gosh, that is so, and you're thinking it, but you can't say that, but you're thinking it. So it's so great to have that AI to bounce it off of.
Yeah, saying it will, all the people that work for me are women, and it's not going to yield the results I need. They're not going to feel all of a sudden empowered because I said that. Instead, they're going to feel, hurt, maybe resentful, and it's not going to be teaching opportunity. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's so true. It's so true. Wow, that is so good. So, I love this, making investment as you grow, how important it is and how it yields, amazing results in your life, in the lives of your team. I'm sure that your team members enjoy their work more, enjoy working with you more than before, because that stress permeates every part of your business when the owner is feeling it. The business is an expression of us. And so whatever we're feeling, the business is feeling. And there's no way you can escape that. Like your customers feel about your business the way your employees feel about your business. So that's why you start to experience then loss on both sides when you start to have stress. So getting ahead of that is so great. One of the things that we've talked about many times in the cleaning industry is that you need like one administrative person for every, it used to be 300,000 in revenue, but with inflation, it's probably getting closer to 350, 400,000 in revenue. But for those of you who are out there listening, think about this as you're growing. You don't need to do it all yourself. I can think of 2 specific other cleaning business owners who I met for the first time when they were around 750,000 and they were still doing it all themselves. And that's in the US. So just, thinking dollars and how their lives changed when they started adding administrative help. So don't let it get that far. Like think about it beforehand. And even if you just have someone part-time helping with little tasks, how it can just free your mind up and your ability and help calm your business and help you kind of get ahead of the struggles that come. And it's every business has this. It's not just the cleaning industry. It's everywhere. For sure.
Yeah, I believe that. I think it's everywhere, and probably people trying to bootstrap it the way we have.
Yeah, I think in the cleaning business, because there's such a low barrier to entry when it comes to costs, that when we do have to spend money, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Other businesses, you have to pay a bunch of money up front. And, so then we feel bad, like, well, I got this far without spending money,
Yes, we do. Yep. And we think we're really smart because we did.
I love that. So true. So true. So if you were, and I know you have talked to many cleaning business owners over the last few years in our Cleaning Business Fundamentals group and in all the communities out there, but if you were talking to someone today who's new in the cleaning business or thinking about the cleaning business, what's one piece of advice, other than this investment, but what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
Well, I would say I now, I've just met so many just through my Chamber of Commerce and other networking groups, met so many home service businesses. And the ones who really have good businesses all have a business coach.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the other ones they're stuck, like we talked about, where they have maybe a couple helpers and they don't seem to get past that. And and they're often quite jaded about it too. They're just like, you can't find anybody to work, there's no money in this industry, these kinds of things, because they could not get past some of these really hard hurdles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And people have a hard time believing that an investment like that can make the difference.
Oh yeah. Which is interesting. Again, like, I think it's a very middle-class mindset. Like, we will invest, we're taught that it's a good investment to invest in formal education. So I was really encouraged to go to college at any cost. Think how much college.
Right. We'll go into all kinds of debt to get a college degree.
I was encouraged that is a wise investment. But everyone in my middle-class world around me was highly skeptical of investing in a business coach.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And again, it's just education, so think of it as education. And
I always say it's a college course, really. Like, it's like taking a college course, but in something that you actually need right now.
Then you can fire them at any point. Like, I couldn't, I had to take the classes I had to take at the university.
And some of those professors probably weren't that, attentive or great or there to help you specifically with an issue. It's a very different.
Or wasn't relevant to anything I was going to do to actually earn money,
Yeah. No, I do think that colleges are going to continue to suffer, and that people will continue to seek education in other ways like this, through coaching and things like that. But that is such great advice, to just look around you at the successful people. What are they doing differently? And the answer is not that they're lucky. The answer is they're making smart choices, right? And what are those smart choices?
Or that they're so much smarter than you, but they are probably more educated than you. But it doesn't, like I said, I had a very narrow view of like formal education, and that was something you spent money on. But hiring a coach, why couldn't you just read his book? And again, this is just the middle class. And I think
I grew up the same way.
I think if I had grown up very wealthy, I would have had a whole different mindset about investing, in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Well, it's very much the rich dad, poor dad kind of story. You look at the rich dad, poor dad. It's the bootstrapping, hardworking people who are building these big businesses, and the college professors sometimes are barely squeaking by, and right. And those are the people that are educating us to build our futures. So yeah. Oh my gosh, that's such good advice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Well, gosh, Karen, I love your story, and such a great thing to talk about right now, because there are so many people joining our industry, and there's plenty of room, because the residential cleaning industry is growing faster than any other segment in the home services industry. But you have to make good choices and think ahead. And we often just kind of go with the flow and jump in and do what everybody else is doing. So thank you so much for sharing your story about making the investment.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeannie. This was a lot of fun.
It is so fun. Well, thank you, Karen, for being with us today. And I want to thank all of our audience for listening to this episode of True Grime Stories. And if you found this helpful, be sure and share this with a friend, subscribe, download, and I'd love your review, because your reviews help more people find True Grime Stories. So thanks for being here today, and we hope to see you on the next episode of True Grime Stories. That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.